these are many of the young people who they were in the station of the day of the incident and that reached out to me. The young man that was actually struck, he's navigating traffic to get here now, but one of the young people, the Queen, wanted to just read a comment based on a lot of these young people, as I stated, who are traumatized over this event. And I think sometimes that their voices are not heard and they don't get an opportunity to talk about how they feel when they see encounters like this. Tomorrow, we're going to be holding a what to do when stopped by the police interaction. I reached out to some of the old members of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, and they're going to hold a series of these conversations to teach young people on how to interact or when they have an interaction with police. As I indicated, this is something that is not taught in school, often is not taught at home, and when these encounters happen, we're always being reactive instead of proactive, and we're going to reinstitute what we did many years ago to this new generation of young people. These are our children, and what happened in that subway over the weekend is something that should not happen in this city. And so the Queen wants to just share her thoughts on the behalf of all of these young people who are here. And these are good scholars. They go to good schools. They are doing good things with their lives. And, you know, sometimes how they're depicted is not as though these are everyday American children. And they do things that American children do. Some of the things we may not like, some of the things we may dislike, but no matter what they do, they should not be punched in the face because of the behavior of children. The Queen?
Thank you very much. Is it on? Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Borough President Eric Adams, for giving us this press conference and giving young people a platform to be heard. My name is DeQueen Roberts. That is DeQueen Roberts. I am a 15-year-old, and I am a current student at Science Skills High School. I'm also a current student, a part of the program called ASET, and this program focuses on helping high school young ladies develop as leaders and scholars. I am an older sister of 2, and it pains me to think about them ever being wrongfully arrested and assaulted by the NYPD. I am here today to voice my opinion on behalf of my fellow peers. On the afternoon of Friday, October 25th, a brawl broke out between 2 groups in the train station of J Street Metro Tech. While the NYPD were trying to get this situation under control, one officer abused his power and not only wrongfully arrested an African-American teenager that had nothing to do with what was occurring, he also punched him in his face. There was a recording of the original video of this incident, and it was submitted to a variety of news networks. Unfortunately, this video was edited to make the young man look that he was in the wrong and the officer look that he was just trying to do his job. This video can be found on different social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We are not blaming all officers that were there for what occurred, but although they could have tried to handle it differently. However, we are tremendously upset about the officer that handled this situation in an uncivilized manner and attacked the teenager. We are also furious about the 2 supervisors that were present during this incident and allowed the officer to continue attacking and harassing the teenager that was simply walking past. This misconduct and unprofessional behavior of the NYPD officer should never be tolerated in their job description. The NYPD should protect all the people of this city. We will not accept any assault against any teens or anyone of race, class, or sexual orientation. The NYPD publicly demonstrate prejudicial child abuse, which is unwarranted. Last week I read that a special term, I'm so sorry. Last week, I read that a special team of subway police will not be having body cameras. I say that all police should have body cameras. We also want Know Your Rights workshops to be placed in high schools, as well as information on how to interact with police. But while we are trying to learn how to survive some, they should be given extended diversity training to officers on how to interact with young people especially. You shouldn't work as an officer in any community that you fear the people. We are the future of this nation, so please treat us like it. Thank you.
Very well done. They're gonna want to ask. Thank you. Very well done. Okay. Very well done.
I was not present in the train station when this occurred, but I know people that was there, and it was people close to me that was affected tremendously. And when I saw the video, it actually broke me down into tears. Yes, I do know the young man personally. Any other question? Huh? He's 15 years old. Yes, the Q is capitalized. DEQUENROBERTS. I'm a junior, 11th grade. I'm 15 years old. You're welcome.
Yes.
Amy.
Amy?
Hello, my name is Amy Barnett. I have been friends with one of the boys that was affected by this incident for a while, and I can speak for everyone when I say it is not in his nature to be violent. Seeing him get assaulted and jumped by police officers made me feel sick. I contacted the press and asked him to report the incident on TV so that we can attract the attention of public officials, such as our borough president, to help my friend and hold the officer who assaulted him accountable. I watched my own family speak up for my cousin who was shot in the face by an NYPD sergeant, which contributed to his firing from the force. I could not help but show the same consideration and dedication for my friend Benjamin. We hope that he makes a full recovery and the police department takes necessary and just action against the offending officer. We ultimately hope that the NYPD can learn from this tremendous mistake and start to train their employees accordingly so an incident like this will never happen again. AMYBARNETT. Benjamin, he was wearing the white sweater, and if I don't think the news reported it, but on social media, the police officer came to him and punched him in the face. That was my friend Benjamin.
That was the second one.
Yes, he was the one that walked, and the officer got up and snatched him. Marshall.
I go to Science Skills Center High School. Science Skills Center High School. I'm in 12th grade. Benjamin is 15.
This is somebody that was in the train station.
Okay. Just say your name, okay?
All right. Hi, my name is Sebastian Antoine. I was one of the students that was in the train station. I was across the platform watching everything occur. It was really emotional for my friend that I knew ever since he entered that high school. He came to me like a brother, so I wouldn't say I've been taking care of him as much, but as like, whenever he needed something, he would always come to me for it. So for me, I heard somebody say somebody got hit, and I'm looking around. I couldn't really see who it was, so I'm just like, I'm not there to even try to see what happened or try to stop it. For me to come home and people are texting me telling me, oh, Benjamin the one that got hit, Benjamin's locked up. I'm like, why? So once I see the video and see that he tried to walk away from the altercation that had nothing to do with him, for him to get assaulted like that, that's unjust in so many multiple ways, because due to the fact that he wasn't a part of the brawl. And multiple people would say, oh, well, if it's not your business, don't be there, right? Walk away. That's exactly what he tried to do. He had his hands in his pocket. He wasn't a threat to anybody. And all he tried to do was walk away, like most people would suggest. So for him to be assaulted from walking away from a situation that has nothing to do with him, what can we say for that? Like, what is... That is just... I don't even know what to say anymore, to be honest. It was just... I've been shaken up about it this entire weekend, hearing other people talk about it, saying, oh, what they did was right, this and that. No. Especially for the people to say that they weren't there, to say what was right and what's wrong, and they do not know what happened before or after. For them to have, like, a perception of that just makes me feel sick inside myself. Knowing exactly what happened, it's just, I don't know what to say anymore. That's all. Sebastian, Sebastien. Last name is Antoine, Antoine. 16. Juniors, 11th grade, yes.
The workshops are going to be at 131 Livingston at 4 p.m. And I think it's important to point out, Amy, right? As you know, and sometimes we just don't really get this. Amy's cousin was shot in the face by the police. Then she sees a friend who's punched by the police. Then we send the police out to recruit these young people to become police. We've created an atmosphere where these young people are traumatized by violence, and because a small number of people in their communities commit violence, when we see them, we feel violence. These are articulate young people. The programs they're in, the schools they're in, their grades are good grades. These are everyday American children that have been demonized just by their presence, just by their look, just by the way they dress, just by how they enjoy themselves. And it's just wrong. And when people saw the initial report, they said, well, you know what, they had to have been doing something. No, they were not. They were doing what young people do. This is what young people do. And because they were doing what young people do, you're not allowed to do what young people do if you come from the communities that they come from. That's what they're saying. That is exactly what they're saying. And they should not have to live in that way. And I thank you for coming out and speaking, because you should not be silent. Your voices should be heard. And it's important that your voices are heard.